Scooby-Doo, where are you? We've got some work to do now.
Hello, y'all. Jamie from Country Diggers here. Just gonna tell you that I'm gonna be doing more and more history articles and stuff like that, history videos. And I'm going to take a little break from digging because my arm needs to rest. It's inflamed really bad and hurts really bad, so I've got to take a break and let it heal up some. So I'm going to be doing some more history videos instead. I'll probably get back into digging probably in October. I'm going to take the rest of this month off and get with it again in October because I'm going to Florida and I want to see what I can dig up in Florida, okay? So today I'm going to be doing a history on the 13 facts about Scooby-Doo that made us say Zoinks. So stay tuned for that. This is 13 facts about Scooby-Doo that made us say Zoinks. Okay, this is Weird History from Ranker.com by Melissa Sartor. Since 1969, Scooby-Doo has provided comedic fun, solved countless mysteries with his friends, and introduced us to a host of other canine pals. As one of Hanna-Barbera's most successful Saturday morning cartoons, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Set the foundation for an entire Scooby-inspired universe. From the theme song that gets stuck in your head to some of the famous lines from the show, those meddling kids, and Zoinks, and Jeepers. Scooby-Doo has created throngs of enthusiastic fans, ones who adore the show and those who aren't shy about things they don't like making Scooby-Doo woke. You don't want a woke Scooby-Doo. No matter what, that cowardly, clumsy dog still has a special place in our hearts. Every time Fred, Velma, Daphne, and Shaggy pile into the Mystery Machine with Scooby-Doo, we know we're in for a fun ride. There's a lot more to know about the show and all things Scooby, although the recipe for Scooby snacks still seems to be a mystery. Number 1. The name Scooby-Doo was inspired by a Frank Sinatra song. Frank Sinatra's 1966 song, Strangers in the Night, closes with a somewhat bungled phrase, one that inspired the name of an equally klutzy dog. Sinatra riffs Scooby-Dooby-Doo, which inspired the moniker for the lovable mystery-solving canine. According to TV executive Fred Silverman, who had an idea for a show about teenage mystery solvers, he heard the music while on a plane and it made him think of making their dog a key character. As we're landing, Frank Sinatra comes on, and I hear him say, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. That's it. Well, take the dog. We'll take the dog. Well, we'll call it Scooby-Doo. Silverman made it happen. Number 2, the human characters on Scooby-Doo are based on ones from a 1960 sitcom. The Many Loves of Dobie Gills was a sitcom that aired from 1959 to 1963. Dwayne Hackman played the titular role, one of many teenage characters presenting stories about their lives from their own points of view. rather than those of adults. Other characters included Maynard G. Curbs, played by Bob Denver, Talia Miniger, played by Tuesday Wilde, and Zelda Gilroy, played by Sheila James Curlew. Together, Dobie, Miniger, Tala, and Zelda were prototypes for Fred, Shaggy, Daphne, and Velma, respectively. As Scooby-Doo went through different stages of development, the would-be names of the characters came to fruition, as did the name of the show itself. At first, Scooby-Doo was called Mysteries 5 and Who's Scared, but the later was determined to be too frightening for a children's show. In the end, they decided to name the show after the dog they had worked into the mystery-solving group, Scooby-Doo. Number 3. Scooby-Doo was the first Saturday morning cartoon with a laugh track. To make sure TV audiences laughed at the right moments and did so at proper levels and volumes, producers decided to substitute their own canned laughter. This developed through the 1950s in large part thanks to Charles Douglas, a sound engineer who created a laughing machine used throughout Hollywood. The Laugh Box, as it was known, because LAFF box, Laugh Box, as it was known, became a staple on primetime TV. Continuing into the 1980s, common even on animated shows like the Flintstones. Hanna-Barbera then added a laugh track to Saturday morning cartoons. In 1969, the first to use artificial laughter was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Number 4, Scooby-Doo is a triplet. I didn't know that. And part of a really big family. Okay. Throughout the many Scooby-Doo cartoons, movies, and merchandising worlds, numerous relatives of the lovable Great Dane have been introduced. Scooby, perpetually 7 years old, is a triplet with siblings named Skippy-Doo and Dooby-Doo. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember them. During the run of the show, audiences also met Scooby's cousins, Scooby-Dum and Scooby-Dee. According to Scooby-Doo artist and character developer Iwano Takimoto, there were all variations on Scooby presented as nephews and cousins. We had big Great Danes, little Great Danes, female Great Danes, stupid ones, smart ones, young ones, old ones and young ones. It just became crazy. Number 5. Scooby-Doo was once the longest running animated series. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Debuted on TV in 1969 and has had many names and versions for decades. Through the years, and in many new and reshaped Scooby shows and movies, Shaggy and Scooby were the only characters present at every step. Scooby-Doo's longevity earned it a distinction of the longest-running animated series in 2004. Scooby-Doo became the longest-running animated comedy according to the Guinness World Book of Records. Scooby-Doo no longer holds that title currently. Currently, the longest-running animated series in the Western world is The Simpsons, while Sanzi Zan from Japan ran consecutively from 1969 to 2020. Number 6. The same actor has voiced Fred for over 50 years. Frank Welker is one of the most prolific voice actors in history of animation, with as many as 850 credits to his name. Welker started voicing Fred on Scooby-Doo from the outset, and after the voice actor for the titular character, Don Mesnick, took on voicing the big dog too. Welker was only 23 years old when he started voicing Fred Jones in 1969. And although the show had some brief hiatuses from airing, has remained a constant as the man who drives the Mystery Machine. Welker takes joy in the fact that over the decades, Fred was the only one who had a license. As long as nobody took the van away from me, that gave me four-wheel power. When Welker auditioned for Scooby-Doo, however, he wasn't trying for the role of Fred. Welker rather wanted to voice Shaggy, which ultimately went to Casey Kasem. Kasem actually auditioned for Fred, but when the voices were finally assigned, the two men had been swapped. Welker explained, "I really liked Shaggy and tried to have fun with that, and I know Casey wanted to do Fred because he wasn't really comfortable doing that kind of goofy Shaggy part. But Joe Barber switched us, and Casey came up with that crazy, wonderful voice for Shaggy." Joe said that Fred was the all-American hero type and that I should just do my own voice. I was like, I never saw myself as the hero type, but okay. I'm kind of a comedian goofball, so it was a little bit hard being restricted, but I was just happy to be part of the group. Number 7. Scooby was designed to be the opposite of a prize-winning dog. The idea to put a dog into the show about teenage mystery solvers came from Hanna-Barbera artists Ken Spears, Joe Ruby, and Iwa Takimoto. In the sketches they presented to Fred Silverman, they included a dog whom Silverman immediately identified as the star of the show. The name Scooby-Doo came from the mind of Fred Silverman, but he was simply replacing what had already been pitched. In the early stages of development, the dog was named Too Much, a canine of an undetermined breed. It was only after Takimoto ran with the idea to have a big clumsy dog in the show that he met with different breeders. As one Great Dane breeder described the important parts of a Great Dane, like a straight back, straight legs, small chin, and such. Takimoto decided to give him a humpback, bowed legs, and big chin. Even his color is wrong. In short, Takimoto found out what made a prize-winning Great Dane and went in the opposite direction. Number 8. Scooby's unique pattern of speech has a name. Scooby's distinct way of talking, using R's in place of and in addition to existing words and syllables, is called rhotic replacement. RHOTIC. Replacement. The speech impediment didn't have a name until 2014, but it is a derivation of a photonic feature known as rhotization. RHOTICIZATION. according to speech pathologist Dr. Stephen Long. I would refer to Scooby's disorder as a phonological as opposed to a phonic disorder, in that he shows a pattern of substituting and adding sounds in his speech rather than just distorting sounds. Scooby's error pattern doesn't have a specific name, at least not one that we commonly use in clinical practice. This means there's no official term, essentially because what Scooby does when he talks isn't found in humans. That said, Scooby's speech pattern does have its own distinction. Number 9. Scooby's real name is Norville. Shaggy's real name is Norville. And the whole crew has last names. Every member of the original group of Scooby-Doo mystery solvers has a full name, but Shaggy is the only human who goes by a nickname. While his given name is Norville Rogers, his characterization as a shaggy-haired saying cowardly food hound earns him an appropriate descriptor. Fred Jones takes his first name from that of the TV executive Fred Silverman, while Daphne's last name is Blake and Velma's is Dinkley. Even Scooby has a full name, Scoobert. Arguably, Doo is his last name. Number 10. Vincent Price, voiced a parody of himself in 1985, when the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo aired in 1985. It featured a new character, Vincent Van Gould. Another newbie was Flim Flam, a young orphan, and Van Gould helped the group recapture escaped ghosts that Scooby and Shaggy had inadvertently sent out into the world. Vincent Van Gould was voiced by Vincent Price, known for his horror film career and unique ominous voice. Van Gould even looked like Price, who, according to Flim Flam, voice actor Susan Bly, turned the animated warlock into a three-dimensional character with his superb talent, as well as his childlike enthusiasm. Price may have played a figure that was based on himself, but the Scooby-Doo universe was no stranger to stars who actually appeared in their own likeness. The Harlem Globetrotters, Sonny Bono and Cher, and Don Knotts all provided voices for episodes of the new Scooby-Doo mysteries. 11. Scrappy-Doo was introduced to revitalize the show, and it backfired. I never liked Scrappy. Scrappy-Doo was brought into Scooby-Doo universe in 1979 in an attempt to bring up sagging ratings. He was the son of Scooby's sister, Ruby-Doo, and enthusiastically started helping solve mysteries like, let me at 'em. What's that? Ta-da-da-da-da, puppy power! But, okay. The presence of Scrappy-Doo was not well received by many of the show's animators, including the Takimato. He described Scrappy as definitely not my favorite member of the Scooby family. In 2004, when Scooby-Doo received acclaim for being the animated show with the most episodes, fans congratulated the show but didn't hide their vitriol for Scrappy. Comments like, please let Scrappy get caught by the dog catcher, and any true Scooby fan would have to disregard all the episodes featuring the terrible Scrappy-Doo, as we're never likely to watch them. It's just too painful. Made their opinions very clear. I know Scrappy was a pest. Scooby-Doo fans like director James Gunn, who also wrote the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, went so far as to call him a little piece of S-H asterisk T. What Gunn didn't do, however, was apologize for making Scrappy-Doo the villain of his movie. Yeah, Scrappy turned into a huge monster. I mean, I think in the movie they said he had a gland problem. That's why he was so small. And then he turned into a huge monster. But anyway, Scrappy-Doo haters took to the internet in 2011 when a work of fan fiction officially ended him, which quickly became an online joke. In 2018, Scrappy-Doo was found dead in Miami. We'll have to do another video on that at a later time, but that was funny. Okay, number 12. There have been more than a dozen Scooby-Doo illustrations. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Was the first cartoon in what became a franchise, debuting in 1969. In 1972, the new Scooby-Doo movies hit the airwaves, essentially longer versions of the cartoon, but with guest stars to accompany the group. After a brief run of the Scooby-Doo show in 1976, Scooby's All-Star Laugh Olympics united Scooby with a crew with a new Hanna-Barbera cartoon, Dino Mutt Dog Wonder. I don't remember that one. Declining ratings led to the introduction of a new character, Scrappy-Doo. Through the early 1980s, Scooby teamed up with his new friends, kept working with Scrappy-Doo, and ultimately solved the new Scooby-Doo mysteries in 1984. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo came out in 85, but was canceled that same year. There were, I messed up a word. I don't know what that says. But we'll go on. There were something Scooby-Doo films. Several. Sorry about that. There were several Scooby-Doo films during the late 1980s. But Scooby experienced what one book called the ultimate indignity of babyfication when a pup named Scooby-Doo came out in 88. After this cartoon was canceled in 91, there were no new Scooby series until 2002, although there were numerous direct-to-video movies. The Cartoon Network picked up Scooby-Doo Mysteries Incorporated in 2010, and Boomerang began airing Scooby-Doo and Guess Who in 2019. The first live-action Scooby-Doo movie was made in 2002, and the sequel came out in 2004, and there were once plans for a third. Why didn't they make the third? I don't know. I wish they'd have made the third. But number 13, Shaggy Rogers is a vegetarian thanks to Casey Kasem. Well, Greg Casey Kasem. Casey voiced Shaggy from the very beginning of Scooby-Doo and continued to do so until 1995. Kasem didn't tire of the role but quit because he was asked to voice Shaggy in a Burger King commercial. As a vegan, Kasem found the idea to be reprehensible and walked away rather than represent the burger chain. Kasem reportedly once said, "Whenever I do interviews on radio and TV, I speak out on the importance of becoming a vegetarian for nutritional, ethnic, and ecological reasons. Kasem came back to Scooby-Doo in 2002, but only after the producers made one important change. Upon Kasem's return, Shaggy officially became a vegetarian. Well, hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll get back to you later. Bye.